Life in your 20s. I do not doubt that it is extremely overwhelming. Trust me, I know I've been there. I actually recently turned 37, and as a personal trainer, I still get to work with a lot of younger folks. And when I'm talking to my younger clients who are in their 20s, I can see how overwhelmed they are with life, decisions, travel, work, relationships, etc. And so I thought I would make a short compilation of some of the important lessons that I can pass on to you to help you out if you are struggling in any shape or form in your 20s. Also, I want you to understand that these are the things that have allowed me to live an extremely incredible life. I've gotten to travel, I've gotten to work in a lot of different countries, I've gotten to meet a lot of really cool people. And while I have made a lot of bad decisions, I actually don't regret any of it because I really do feel like I have lived such a full life already. Number one, do not create this expectation or pressure on yourself to have all of life's answers right now. When you think about when you were younger, I know being in your 20s feels like you have reached adulthood. And you have experienced a lot of things. You're, potentially out in the world now, you're getting a job, you're starting to think about settling down or all these kind of things. But personally, I do not feel like in your 20s is where you need to have all the answers. And to be honest, I'm 37 now and I still feel like I don't have the answers, but there's a lot more comfort in that unknown element now. The thing you have to recognize is that a lot of the expectations, standards, and goals that you have set out for yourself were potentially set by a very young and naive version of you. You may have been sort of daydreaming when you were, 7, 8 years old or in your teens about what you had wanted to accomplish when you were in your 20s. The thing is, that version of you was very naive. Their perception of adulthood and life came potentially from movies, Disney movies, TV shows, and imagination. Whereas when you get older, you realize that life is a lot more full. Life is not a linear plane. There are constant ups and downs. Sometimes there are setbacks. Sometimes there's, big mountains we have to climb. There's huge hurdles. And sometimes there's great things that happen for us. And so it is really important for us to be accommodating to that very important nature of life. Also, if you are constantly comparing yourself to a standard or dream or goal you had set out for yourself even 10 years ago, you're constantly setting yourself up to be disappointed. You're constantly setting yourself up to feel like a failure. You are losing sight of the things you are accomplishing. You are losing sight of the things that you are overcoming in your day-to-day life. Make sure that you are reassessing as well as reevaluating where you are now based on what you have been through, what you have overcome, and also where you would like to be in the future. Number 2, relationships. Now, when I was in my 20s, relationships were by no means a priority for me. I always have believed, and I still believe to this day, that there's so much of the world to see. And so for that reason, I never quite was able to get into a committed relationship, let alone even date. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to travel. And so when I was 17, I moved to Germany for an internship. Then I moved to Greece. I did some volunteer work there. And so I was already on the go, and I was just so addicted to that lifestyle of going out, meeting people, making friends, and making connections. When I looked at people who were in relationships with their partners from high school, they didn't necessarily want to leave. They didn't want to travel. They didn't want to go anywhere because they wanted to stay in that relationship. And that is fine. But for me, that was not something that I personally wanted to do. If you are spending your 20s direly trying to find a partner, you're swiping on dating apps, understand that that is not where your priority should be. I understand you want love, you want to have a companion, you want to have someone to come home to, especially with all these expectations and visuals we're getting on social media of how amazing a relationship can be. But these are 10, 27-second snippets of someone's relationship that also has ups and downs. Spend your 20s building a healthy relationship with yourself. Give yourself love, give yourself care. Take some time to understand who you are and what makes you you. More importantly, take some time to understand and experience happiness on your own. Because if you do not establish a healthy relationship with yourself, no matter who comes into your life, you're constantly going to put that weight on their shoulders. Now they are responsible for making you happy. They are responsible for giving you love. And it is nobody's job to do that. They can add value to your life, but the pre-existing value of love, of acceptance needs to be there within you, if that makes sense. Again, I'm not telling anyone to be or not be in a relationship. I'm saying just don't chase a partner. Don't chase anybody. And that brings me to number 3. You cannot make anybody love you, okay? Your 20s are not the time to convince other people that you are worthy, that you are beautiful. You need to know this for yourself. And whoever it is you are chasing, my girl, I'm telling you, he is not going to see it. She is not going to see it. They are not going to see it, okay? But he's going through, no. Whatever your reasons are for thinking that you can change this individual, you can make them love you, if only they saw you, if only they saw this photo, no. Stop that chase. If you're going to chase after something, chase after the world, go see countries, chase after happiness within yourself, chase after success, chase after something for you. Your life will have so much more meaning. You will have so much more value, respect, love, kindness for yourself. If you begin to chase after people, you are only wearing down your own skin. You are only wearing your own emotions, your weight down. Stop doing it. Don't chase after anything. Don't chase after anyone. Stop. Okay? It's not worth it. I don't care what your excuses are. I've been there, but they will, and they have this going on, but right now is no. It's all crap. Okay? Just turn your attention back to you, your life, your priorities. Buy that plane ticket and go somewhere. Okay? Which brings me to my next point. Travel. If there's one thing I am so glad I did, is that I traveled a lot. And I didn't backpack. I actually always traveled for work, for conferences, for volunteer opportunities, or to permanently live somewhere. I never actually did the backpacking hostel thing, so I can't really tell you about it. I have traveled to a lot of countries. You know, I've been to India, Sri Lanka, Australia, Germany, Greece, England, Wales, Switzerland, United States, Canada, I can't think of anything else. But I have traveled a lot, and I was fortunate enough to live in 7 of these countries, which I hope I mentioned all of them. But so travel. Instead of spending your money on bags and clothing because you want to appear like you have it all on social media, have it all and experience it all. Get out there and travel. I've noticed some girls especially don't travel because they're afraid of traveling alone, yet you have no problem getting drunk with a random guy and letting him drive you home or going home to someone's house. Like, think about it. Just think about it, okay? Again, I'm not judging you. That's not my place. Like, I do not judge. But Spend your money on you. Spend your time on you. This is the time of your life where you really can enjoy the lack of responsibility for most people. There are some kids who have to grow up a lot sooner than most other kids. But if you have the fortunate life of being able to not worry about rent, you're living at home, you don't have like a full-time job that you are fully committed to, you have some savings, use those and travel. If you don't have savings, apply for a working holiday visa, go to another country, travel there, work there, experience life there. Because the more you get out of your house, the more you get out of your comfort, the more you meet new people, you talk to people around the world, you really begin to have a wider perspective on life overall. You begin to have a wider understanding, empathy, experience, and it also widens your own horizons as a person. You begin to look at life outside of what you have always known, and it really helps you grow in every way imaginable. It helps you grow as a person. It grows you mentally. It grows your heart. You make incredible friendships. And there's so much to be experienced, to be learned, to be seen in the world. If only I could share all the photographs, all the stories of all the countries I've been to. I mean, trust me, it's 100% worth it. My last and very simple thing that I would say to anyone watching this, whether or not you are in your 20s, is do not compare your life, your experiences, as well as your success or happiness to what you are seeing on social media. Social media is just a show. It's a place where you go to be entertained. It's a place where you go to look at things and be amused. It's not a place where you sit to compare your own life experiences to someone else's single post. You cannot look at a 30-second video or a 1-minute video of a complete stranger and all of a sudden feel like, oh, my life is horrible. I don't really, I'm not doing anything. I haven't accomplished anything, because that is an extremely unreasonable expectations. There are 1,000,001 variables that influence the life that you are living and what you are capable of doing, just like somebody else, so you cannot compare and set standards for yourself, not only to your younger self, but also to complete strangers on the internet. Even for me, I am guilty of posting photos and content that I took in other countries up to a decade ago on my social media. And people will say, oh, you're so lucky, you're traveling, you're out there, you're doing stuff. I'm not anywhere, girl. I'm sitting on my couch, sipping tea right now. I'm nowhere. But social media makes it seem like I'm somewhere all the time. So please learn to be kind to yourself. Spend time and invest in yourself and take the pressure off you to have all of life figured out. This is your time to shine, to travel, to love, to live, to make friendships, to make memories. And this will really be the time of your life that in 17 years from now, you will be sharing stories of and laughing and really glad that you did all the things you did and you didn't just try and please everybody. You didn't spend money going to bars and, buying handbags. You just took a backpack and you flew to England for 4 days because you felt like it. Okay? Until next time, think strong always, and I'll talk to you again very, very soon. Bye.